there's always moment that you go, oh, this is amazing. I can't believe we did this. But I think every achievement we celebrate, and it just be able to do it.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. How do you convert the magic of a pop-up restaurant or food truck into bricks and mortar and create a space that becomes the hub of the community? Well, few have done it better than today's guests. Raymond Hou is the co-owner and chef of Firepop in Enmore, Sydney. Raymond, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Anthony?
I'm good. It's great to get you on the show. You got a wonderful little restaurant there in Enmore. How are things going there?
Good. A lot of fun. Yeah, fun.
Enmore Road has changed a lot, specifically in the last sort of 5 years. What's it been like for you being amongst the energy of all the sort of new restaurants and goings on Enmore Road?
Look, Enmore Road has grown a lot. Yeah. It's nice to be here. It's nice to be part of the community. I can see it gets busier now. A lot more happening every day, so it's really good. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Firepop and what you're doing there.
Okay, so the restaurant or the Firepop from the start.
Well, let's do the restaurant at the moment, and we'll go back in time shortly.
100%. Yeah. So we I think we picked the site during the COVID, and it's a long journey to get to where we are. The restaurant is now almost 2 years old in March this year. Hasn't been easy, to be honest, but it's quite a fun journey. Being recognized by the industry is it's a surprise, and it's a fun, it's unexpected, but a very interesting journey.
Tell us a little bit about the offering that you have there. What are you doing?
Okay, so the whole theme is based on cooking skewers on fire. It's something that we've been doing for a very long time. It's much a refined version of it. It's an extension that we've been doing from the pop-up as well. So using better produce, better process. Some are super simple, but requires more skills, and some are more complicated with different layers of flavors. But skewers, majority of skewers cooking over fire with good produce, with the matching drinks, good music, good lighting, warm service. It's like addition to that.
Tell us about the choice of Enmore. Why did you sort of zero in on that suburb?
We wasn't because the concept of the restaurant, it developed later in stage when we just about to open. So this whole strategy of opening Firepop has changed to something we need build a place for people to sit down. Original was a fast casual concept, and then now become a sit down concept. And more to be honest, because we've been pop up in Young Henry's. Grifter, the whole idea of sitting down was born inside the Grifter. Well, the lockdown comes and we only serve 30 people, not 300 people. And then we say, oh, you know what? Let's provide a sitting down concept. And then the idea grow. And then we start looking at this area because the rent is super reasonable. Half of Newtown, maybe 25% of the Surrey Hills. And people are here, and then quite open-minded, like it's a melting pot of everything. So you have people from all background, all culture, taking on the ideas quite well. So, giving the resources, I think it's we've done so this is probably the space that we wanted to be. Very hard to be in anywhere else at that time. Plus, at that time, I think the state government approved the whole suburb of entertainment pricing, which gave us a big push to start looking in this area.
I want to explore sort of what you're doing and, that move from sort of pop-up into the restaurant a little bit later on, but take us back to when you were young. Whereabouts did you grow up, and was food really integral in your family?
Yes. I was born in northern China, in the city called Shenyang. It's the capital of the whole northern China. I came to Sydney when I was 17, so I did high school, half of the high school in here, and I actually did accounting, commerce accounting degree in Macquarie. Graduate as a accountant, and
Mhm.
ends up in. I didn't do much of accounting work. I bought a restaurants, um, where I was working in Chinatown, and then uh, started night market with the skewers, and that was back in 2005 or six, and the skewer thing continues until now. Um,
Take us back to when you were a kid. Is there any dishes or from your family or from that region that you look back on fondly that you can tell us about?
yeah. It's the time has is different. So when I was very young, everyone cook at home. I'm talking about maybe six or seven, or everyone cooks like so. New Year's comes and all the family gathers, and everyone's making dumplings and there's certain style dishes that you make, and the activities just to stay at home cooking for the whole day, and the evening we have a dinner together. We're talking about maybe 20, 30 people from all families, and that's how we celebrate everything over food. It's all about food. Um, yeah, and then as time grows, and there's a lot more restaurants and a lot of different. I at that time, because China changed a lot during that time. So from everyone's very poor, and then everyone start, everything start developing, and there's money there, and then the what you eat start growing. So back in the 80s, there's no skewers, and then in the 90s, I think the migrants from the Ugu area start moving across China, and then you have this skewer, lamb skewer culture develop in the early 90s, and then later everyone take on board, and then the fine dining start after the 90s. I have seen a lot of different stage in China. It was very interesting. Yeah, but everything is about food. You celebrate over food. You done business over a banquet, and the food is 24/7. So the city where I grow up never sleeps, and you can go to 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock is eating somewhere, and still there's a line, and then 5 o'clock is already a breakfast place, another line. And it's still like this now.
Uh, Tell us about the move to Australia. How did that happen and what was that like?
That was in 1998. So my dad decided, what, go out. I think there's a wave of, what, let the kids to see the world and maybe do uni overseas. And I was potentially one of the first wave of international students that landed in Sydney back in 1998. Did high school, and then got into uni. Didn't know what I want to do. In between, I was working in restaurants and McDonald's and Bays and Lycards. And then my dad is in banking, mom's in accountant. So I go, you know what, commerce. Graduate. I remember that. I said, oh, I think I can start working and stay here. Do you want me to come back? And he goes, you know what? Up to you. Maybe stay. So I applied my visa and then stayed and worked a little bit as a accountant, and got into my own running restaurants and market stores, and yeah, and then life goes on and become a chef now.
But tell us about the early on with the restaurants. What were you doing and what was that like for being so young and sort of sinking your teeth into the hospitality industry with your own venue?
I think I started working in the restaurant in early 2000, when you can still smoke in the restaurants, and in 2000, and there's a restaurant called E King Noodle opposite to Golden Century, and that's where I Uh, and then we end up take over that restaurant in 2005, I think. At that time, it just I was front of house. Love cooking. Go to the back in the kitchen and ask the chef to teach me how to cook all kinds of different things. Back then, the menu is very typical. Timmy, sweet and sour pork, lemon chicken. I loved it, but when I said, why don't we do something different? Because I've seen a lot of different dishes back then in Chinatown. It's the same menu. I go, look, we got to bring something new to this. We got to show back then was we got to show so many different things we can have, inside of this. This is good, but there are other things. And then that I think prompted the idea in back in 2005, and then they started a night market. I said, how can you have an Asian night market without lamb skewers? Let's do one. I brought the stove that a friend of mine made for me. We used to cook at home, missing the food. And then we go, you know what? Perfect. Get a tent, put a stove right in the middle of Chinatown, start grilling. Set the price at $1 a skewer without calculating anything. Sold out on first night. We go, and then go back home and go, oh, I didn't earn any money. Maybe the well, $1.50. And then I think for the next 10 years in Sydney, the lamb skewers was $1.50 for 10 years. And builds a sort of fast casual on that. And then always try to, so the fast casual, so how do we can fix it consistently? How can we sell at $1.50? And has been and set up the fast casual called the Lamb and Cumin. And then had a one in Hurstville, Chatswood, Eastwood, all the sort of Chinese community area. People loved it, and it's with the like best cheap skewers in Sydney. Built a small factory just to manufacture, so we can keep selling at that price. So a lot of, and 2013 is a proper like the idea of that, and then build a small chain and with a factory, and then for 10 years they've been doing that for $1. Like at that mark, didn't know Melbourne was selling skewers at $7 back then. Have a lot of fans just because of what we do, and the idea is more like, hey, I want to eat this. I'm sure that people like me, so let's do something. Been doing for that long. And very scared of putting price up because people have been buying it for so long, and then until to a point, and with build a we go through a lot of them, and then 2019 is the time that we rebrand the previous business module with a partner. We want to go a different path, and the original idea of Fire Pop is still fast casual. Took 3 months to think of that name, and then the trademark, and then we said, always had a pop up because of Chinatown. We're doing it for so long, so it would be good to have a pop up before we have a restaurant. Build one. The briefing of building that pop up is: I do not want a food truck. We don't want a tent. Let's build something else. Crazy idea. It cost us 10 months from design to build, involve a lot of people for the idea to become what it is now. Really cool. But it, and then it carries on, but because of COVID. So every time before we signed a lease was a lockdown, and then the ideas start changing, and there's less people coming and visiting Australia, and we're getting less people. It was back in Grifter, was still doing like always three products, lamb with something else, and then do bigger numbers, very fast, lower price range. But lower price range give us certain thing we can do, we can't do, and then because the 30 people limit, we go, you know what, let's expand that, let's do something different, and then that better produce, better process concept start like comes in. What about we have our own space? What about like letting them sitting down, play the music we like, the lighting, and pair with the drinks we like? It wasn't curated in a certain way, but it ends up being go, okay, so I think that's kind of the restaurant we want. Let's visit them and see what can we do, and then Five Pop whole restaurant concept become what it is now.
Tell us about the challenges of, having the pop-up, but then bricks and mortar. Did it change the model and the approach that you do? What were the different challenges in having your own sort of space?
Oh yes, 100%, totally different. I think the pop up is look at even our pop up is slightly different to the normal food truck. So we want to do something better, and we even built a cool room and cutting values in front of people. So that idea, because that was on the second year we did the Easter show. Every time I start cutting, I go, people need to see this. I talked to Alina, people need to see this. She goes, you are crazy. And then to the end, we go, you know what? Let's build a cool room with a window. And a friend of mine helped me to actually make it happen. And we take off because people have never seen it before. You only see it on Instagram. And now it's done in front of you. Smaller bite, yes, but it's something that you never experienced, and you see it gets done because the wagyu, once you grill it, is like piece of meat. You can't tell the marbling anymore. But within that 5 degree, then you can see. So, and then I now looking back the other day, I go, okay, it has been pushing and doing slightly different things. Sometimes the idea didn't work, and this is one of those moments that it worked. And then we are very stubborn, Leah and I. So we say, want to do something nice. And then that pop up has been being what it is now and worked in a quite weird way. But I'm very happy that the people really enjoying it. They can see the difference. Even I bump in people even coming to the restaurant. They had when they're young, it's one of the singer. He used to come from Canberra, go to Eating World, eat our skewers, and he's had done at a chef table. Go, no way, was that you? He said, yeah, this is actually pictures. You go, wow, I used to go see just for this, and now I'm enjoying proper. It's like a grown up version of what was it before. So it is still what it is, but it's curated in a much better way. And then the price range give us the opportunity to use the things that we can find, like and to use the process and to spend the time to trim the silver skins, to put them in the way it's supposed to be, to handle them in a certain way, because we can charge a little bit more for it. And then the moment that people can taste the difference, they go, oh, wow, this is the best version of the cumin flavored lamb. Go, yes.
Tell us about the lamb skewers, and are there a couple of other signature ones that you can also tell us about?
Yes, the lamb is we used to name every single dish in the pop-up. So the lamb is the OG, which is where it started and where ours has been. And the butter is the Wagyu. Wagyu, I think we have done a lot of through the pop-up. The idea is we use it's called the butcher's butter, which is the deco from John D. Marble Score 3. Taught by a really good friend of mine, Norm. He's a butcher. And then he introduced the cup to me, and then we tasted it. And we go, oh, this is amazing. And then we trim the silver skin, and then we figure, okay, all the values at the higher marble spores, there's more parts you can use to create the same taste. And then we start using higher marble spores, and we name it the butter because it's fatty in your mouth. And then we cube, which is the butter cube. So basically, it's a mini steak, grill 6 sides, high temperature, no smoky flavor because you want to taste the Wagyu. And so that's one of the products. So it has been very popular. What we're known for, it's just because we've done it in front of people, especially I think for people who hasn't encountered such ingredients. And then in a setting that quite relaxed. I mean, everything's under $20, and you see gets done in front of you, and super excited, and you take it, and especially when you had it the first time for the high mob score Wagyu in smaller piece, and then we go, wow, and now I understand how would it taste like. So it's very rewarding. Yeah. So that's one of the.
Tell us about the OG. Is there a specific cut of lamb that you use, and what sort of ingredients do you use to get the product that you get?
Okay, so the cut of we always use the rear leg. Um, we used to process a lot of them. So we use a dicer, gauge thread dicer, so be able to reduce the labor. But at the moment, we only get, and then we realized like the lamb that never vacuum come from the abattoir on the bones are the best. You sort of intensify the flavor once you start baking them. So we start getting at the restaurant, we're getting them on the bones. So we actually bone them. We learn how to bone the lamb. We bone them, um, and then start trimming all because of the wagyu. So we realize the texture of the proteins are different once you trim off the silver skin, so it becomes more tender. So we start apply that same techniques to the lamb. So we start trimming all the silver skins wherever we can find from the lamb, the rear leg. On the lamb, there's 5 pieces. So it's a lean, which is from the trimmed lamb, and then fat, lean, and fat and lean. The fat is the cap. So on the rib, so the cutlet on the back, there's a cap. So we cut it off. So it's precisely needs to be 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter, no more than 10 millimeter thick. And then we skewer back on. So fat, lean, fat, lean, fat, lean, fat, lean, and then go on medium to high heat with Kashmiri chili. And now we start finish the whole lamb with so just before we're taking it off with the sprinkles we put apple wood so and create that touch of smokiness. So that's the new version. So it's throughout the years and slowly by working with it and start and tweaking it, and it's always getting better.
You mentioned Elena a little bit earlier. You guys run the restaurant together. Tell us about your working relationship. What's her role and your role within the business, and what's it like working together?
um, she's the big boss. We don't have other partners involved. It's only me and Elena. I always say Fire Pulp wouldn't be Fire Pulp if it wasn't for her. She is the person that drive the skewer business to excellence. She just being Alina. If you met her, she where to start. So she's got the first class honor university medal from UTS doing technology in programming. She's done UX design. Um, she's very she's a person pursued for excellence. So it is the Alina version of the fire pump with me involved. So we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for her. Yeah. I'm the one. Oh, I have an idea. I have a great idea. She goes, oh, again. But whenever she proves it, it ends up to be a great idea.
As you mentioned a bit earlier, it's been 2 years now as Bricks and Mortar in Enmore. Has the restaurant changed much in the last 2 years, and do you have plans to change in the coming years?
Yes, I think. Well, the concept is still the same, but there's a big intense learning curve. Because we would have the fine casual dining background. Alina took on the wine studies. She got the certified som, and she's on the way to finish her WACT level 4. She did for 2 years. Me, I went to TAPE actually. I took a course for being a chef. So that was during the renovations. So for us is try to learn. I think to understand the business and tweaking, improve. The concept, like I said, the concept is the same. But when we started, there's briefing before, there's briefing after. Every day we're writing a list of things that needs to be changed. We're talking to everyone. Reviewing or because for us it's not like, oh, okay, we've done this before, we should have done this. For us it's more, okay, this has happened, how can we do better? I think, and then the whole thing start changing, and then the restaurants, the offerings start tweaking what works, what don't work. How do we want people to dine? Want to come in for a glass of wine, a couple of skewers, or I want them to celebrate. So the whole the menu structures changes, the pricing changes, service style changes. But I think the whole concept is still the same. Warm service, good ingredients, good process, and want you to have fun, have a memorable service. Doesn't matter you come to celebrate or just for a quick bite. It's still the same.
Well, it's amazing what you've both created there. What do you love about what you do?
I think it's more like everything. Create something new, people like it, or they love it, or even fix a problem, or just be able to achieve something that you think it's not possible. To be honest, hasn't been easy, especially last 2 years. But there's always moment that you go, "Oh, this is amazing! I can't believe we did this." We haven't been out of it. It's still unknown. Yeah. But I think every achievement we celebrate, and it just be able to do it, I think. Yeah.
Well, Raymond, it's amazing to catch up with you and can't wait to see where you take Firepot from here. So please keep in touch and we'll catch up again soon.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the lives of the incredible people who ply their trade in the food and hospitality sector. Special thanks to executive producer Rob Locke for making this all happen. Follow us on Instagram at Deep in the Weeds Podcast or email us at podcast@deepintheweeds.com.au. Thanks to executive producer Rob Locke for making this all happen. Stay safe and be well.